everyone, this is Joe with Southeastern Frontiers, and today Jonathan and I are hiking in Bucks Pocket State Park, Alabama, and we are hiking to the point, the high point, and you can see the view is awesome. The Point Rock Trail in Bucks Pocket State Park is about a 2.6 mile round trip out and back trail that, though short, can be very steep in places. It features a spectacular overlook at Point Rock, also known as the Jim Lynn Overlook. There's also a lovely waterfall, the Little Sauty Waterfall, along the way. The trail is well marked and in good condition. If you're visiting Bucks Pocket State Park, you should definitely give this trail a try. Here we are at the trailhead for the Point Rock Trail. So we are going to be taking this up to the very top of the canyon. I like this sign here. The Point Rock Trail in Bucks Pocket State Park. Steep grade, length 1.1 mile, elevation gain 473 feet. Grade, typically 10%, can be almost 50%. Whew, that's going to hurt. Anyway, it's very nice of them to give such a complete sign. I rarely have seen anything like that before. Very cool. We stopped by this big rock by the trail here because I noticed these they look like little steps coming out all down this rock here. Had to see what they are. They look like they're little layers of sandstone mixed in between the layers of limestone. So up here there's limestone, then a hard layer of sandstone, and then limestone, and they alternate. And the frequency of the alterations just gets faster and faster as you go down that way. Very interesting little rock formation there. So we've come to a little bench here, which marks the point where the trail to the main park headquarters and campground joins in. So we could have parked over there by the camp headquarters and walked over from there. The trail goes off that way. Here's our first creek crossing. Lots of jumbled rocks and a downed tree right there. A little bit of water running through here. We're gonna cross right here. And continue to follow the little orange blazes. Really nice view of the water tumbling down the rocks here. We're starting to put a little altitude on, but we have to get all the way up there. We can see the railing around the viewpoint up there at the top of the ridge. We got a long way to go yet. We're just following this dry creek bed up this valley. Then I think we switch across it and head up the slope on the other side. Here's where we cross over the dry creek bed to the other side. I'm guessing sometimes after rain, this is not so dry. Here's a blaze for the trail, but oh my, it goes up and up. Can you make out the blaze for the trail way up there? Whew, that's gonna be a climb. There's a pretty big sinkhole right here that we're looping around right at the base of the cliff. And then the cliff goes up and up and up and up. And we gotta get up there somehow. Whew, a lot of climbing to go yet. You can really see into that sinkhole now. It's down there. We came up the trail over there. just past the branch to go over to the Little Sauty Waterfall. We'll catch that on our way back. And up we go. We have made it to the top of the plateau. Should be a lot easier hiking from now on. Man, that was a stair climb. Whew. I'm not in shape for that this winter. Been spending too much time indoors. Need to get out more. Starting to pick up some views. Very nice. Continuing on, I think we're almost to the viewpoint. We've almost reached the viewpoint. There's a walkway out to it there. The irony of this hike is, after all that climbing, we could have just driven up here. You know, there's the road. But what fun is that? So we're gonna go and walk out to the viewpoint. Well, the boardwalk sure makes this easy. Very nice. All right, I think we have come to the end of the trail. Let's see what this is like. Woohoo! Yeah! Wow. Down in the valley down there, you can make out the pads for the campground. The Bucks Pocket State Park campground is right down there. And you can just make out water running in the creek down there if you got good eyes. Whew, a little breezy. That's quite the crag of a tree right there. On the opposite ridge over there, you can see a farm, and there's the road. You can see a truck going up it. That road goes down to Bucks Pocket State Park. There's the valley we just climbed up out of. Very cool. It's a little overcast today, but not too bad. There's a rainstorm coming in tomorrow. So we thought we better get this in today while we can. It's nice and warm for the 23rd of December. Here's a view on the other side of the point looking up the valley. And then panning down towards the campgrounds. See the water running in the creek down there. Heading out to Lake Gunnersville. There's the campground coming into view. Very nice. All right, we are heading back now. Back through this nice boardwalk to the parking lot and then back down the trail. All right, we are heading back down the Point Rock Trail. A little more than 1 mile back to the campground. So we're gonna stop and see a waterfall along the way that we skipped on the way up. We are descending down, down, down very steeply. Down we go. The Little Sauty Falls. Very pretty. All right, after our little side trip to the falls, right around the corner there, we are now back on the main trail and we are heading back to the trailhead. So off we go. All right, we have returned to the little creek crossing where there's a small cascade of water coming down that we passed on the way up. So here's the water and here's where we cross the creek. And the water keeps on going down there, heading down towards the Buck's Pocket campground. So let's see if I can get across without falling in. Woohoo! Made it. We are back to where the trail branches off to go back to the camp headquarters over there. But our car is parked off this way, so we're going to continue on this way. There's the trailhead sign. So we are back at the Point Rock Trailhead in Buck's Pocket State Park in North Alabama.